You have one bait to use for the rest of your life. 365 days a year. If you ask almost any fisherman, especially a professional fisherman, most of those guys would probably tell you they'll take a jig. And I would be no different in that. For me, a Terminator Pros jig is my go-to all-around jig.
Man, a jig, pitched in heavy cover like that, it catches big fish.
A jig is something that you can fish effectively from really, really shallow water to really deep water and everywhere in between. You can fish it right under the surface. You can fish it dragging along the bottom. Flipping, swimming, casting, whatever it may be. There's several things I look for on a jig that's gonna make it a great all-purpose jig. For me, it's gotta have, number one, a good hook. And that Terminator Pros jig is equipped with a VMC hook, a very good hook. The head shape, you know, this is really a perfect all-around. It works well in rock. It's wide enough there on the bottom that it doesn't get snagged in the rocks really easy. Another thing is that crossways line tie. For me, when you're down in rock or you're in brush, I feel like it comes through that cover better. Good, solid weed guard, but not too much, and that's what that is. It's really good all-purpose weed guard is extremely important. Something that a lot of jigs have wrong with them is not having a great trailer keeper. With this jig, we've got that little wire barb that sticks down, and it doesn't look like much, but man, it does everything you need it to do. Number one, it keeps it rigged nice and straight, but number two, I can get a bite and get multiple bites out of my trailer because of that. If it wasn't there, I'd skip it into that cover, my trailer would be slid down the shank of the hook, and I'm gonna miss that fish. Having a bunch of different colors to choose from really makes it to where I can go all across the country with one jig style and be able to fish anywhere. In the Pros jig, we've got 17 different colors, but the part of that I'm excited about are the 5 new ones that we've added. One of them that was had to have, just my go-to, is one called Overdose. That blue actually has real fine red flake in it, and then just a little bit of chartreuse. But that jig matched up on that head, it is my go-to really, really dirty watercolor. Texas Crawl is another one. Black with green flake, a little bit of root beer green, some chartreuse in that. Chovy Crawl, man, that's a color that we've been missing for a long time. Just that green pumpkin with some just straight blue in it. And then one that was a little bit different, Bama Crawl. Some green pumpkin, a little bit of red, and then some orange on the bottom. That is the perfect bluegill or crawfish imitator. If you swim it, man, it looks just like a bluegill does a lot of times. Glimmer blue shad. Swimming a white jig, you're able to imitate a shad when those shad are spawning anywhere, anytime, any type of cover. Where I just stopped the boat right here is a prime example of what makes this jig, to me, so good. You know, I've got lay down timber, I've got standing trees, I've got grass up on the bank. I've got a lot of different stuff going on here. And if you went to the store, you're gonna end up buying a whole bunch of different jigs to be able to pick a place like this apart. But for me, that Pros jig, the head design and the overall shape of it makes it really effective for everything. And that hook works extremely well, whether you use braid, fluorocarbon, or even a combination of both. Always remember that. Just go get you a good selection of colors. And the great part is too, we've got it in a variety of sizes. Everything from a 1/4, 3/8, half, 3/4, and a 1 ounce jig. All in that Pros jig, all the same head design, just a little bit bigger head each time you step it up. For me, that Pros jig, it truly is the one jig you need for almost any cover situation. All right. Pros jig right there, baby. That's what it's about.